I think what I can hear is like you have such a deep grounding in system thinking and methodology, and I'm curious like how, because I feel like there's this sort of watch out for me all the time of like methodology and thinking and then practical application and what does it mean for a Monday morning? What does it mean tomorrow? And I can hear a deep understanding of the theory, and I'm just thinking like of examples of like how does that work in a workshop? How does that work in, when you're on a sprint? Can you apply it in that way, that type of thinking?
100%. I think it's really being super clear on your boundaries. Like
Yeah,
the system has a boundary and systems permeate, like system can be moving into other systems, but you have to really know what the boundary is. And if you don't know, you have to put a stake in the sand, and to say like, this is where I assume this boundary is, and
yeah,
that's
yeah,
what we're working towards. And in product teams in particular, like you do tend to have a clear goal. Like you either have a business goal or you have maybe a P1, priority one kind of oh, we need to fix something. That's a very clear, this is what we need to do. However, even though you have that sort of high level directive, you might have a similar directive in a workshop, like, oh, we're getting together to understand user journey mapping. You often need to unpack that. And this is kind of this shaping, like, what is it actually? And I've worked with engineers that had to go and actually just run a mini discovery of, oh, we're going to fix this code. We don't even know what's going on in this code. And so they had to kind of unpack that first in order to be able to act on it. And that's very classic for systems work. Like we're trying to do something there, but we don't even really understand it. And we need to look at it from different perspectives in order to really like have a good sense really in how to solve this, like how to get to that goal. So making that a lot more concrete. Monday morning, sprint planning, we know, oh, it can be a simple feature, right? Like, oh, we're going to upgrade our checkout process. You need these different perspectives. This is why we have cross-functional teams. So you might have a front-end engineer, a back-end engineer, a designer, and a product manager, and they all go away and try to figure out, well, what does that mean from our discipline? So the designer will see, oh, how does that interaction pattern work? Is it good UX? Is accessibility permitted? Is it thought through? Is the call to action clear? Now, the product manager might go away and check the data and the logs and the conversion rate and the understanding of how that affects revenue. Um, Maybe the product manager will also look at different markets and different areas where the feature will be released, and like what kind of legal attributes there are. So you can already see, right, like the list just goes on. The engineers will have to look at, okay, how does that interaction behave? Is the right data flowing into that interaction and not? And I think this is like, I think we operate in these system settings all the time. And this
mhm,
is really part of the substrate of our work, is understand, like bringing these different parts together, because really design and product especially, it's an emergent process. Like you control it. You have to like herd these bits, parts together. And there's always discovery as you execute, always.